Welcome to this mini Tim's Minions tutorial. I just want to give you a quick Google Plus tip. For anybody who shares posts by their friends or other people's posts on their Google Plus account, then you may not know this, or you may not choose to do this, but I think you'd want to once you realise when you're sharing something, you obviously want to give your followers good content. You obviously feel it's good enough to be shared, and so I can't imagine why you'd not want to do this. I noticed the other day that on my blog, when anybody comes to share my post, which is as down here, you've got the share buttons. If someone clicks on the Google Plus button, this generic image always comes up. So for example, if I click on that now and start to share this on Google, saying this is a good post, for example, you'll see that I'll just get this generic image turn up before I click the share button, which is not the image that is here or one of the images from the post. So I never thought much about it. Then as I was going along sharing people's posts, like from Online Income Teacher, my friend Matt, who's got a post here, the 3 questions you need to ask before making money online, this here is the image. If I was to hover over the Google Plus button, I have shared this before, you will see that the image that is appearing is actually the one from the post and not just a generic Online Income Teacher image. If I went to Alex Whaley, a friend of mine in Australia, did the same thing. The image that will appear here is the one that's in his post. And if I went to Claire over at thisisclairetrabes.com and hovered over the image, sometimes you have to click on for it to appear again, you'll see that the image in there is the image from the post. So Google has picked an image from the post, but they haven't for mine. And if I go over here to the Social Yeti, hover over his G Plus button, you'll see the Social Yeti header has appeared as a generic image for his post. So if I go over to my friend at John Banks' blog, and let's say I go to one of his posts, and so if I hover over his G Plus button at the side, you will see his header has appeared, which is that header there and not the image here. So I was trying to figure out why this was doing this, and I was talking to Matt from Online Income Teacher, who says that when he writes a blog post, he sets this main image, or the first image is often the set featured image which you get when producing a WordPress post. I, on the other hand, do not store my images on my WordPress. I tend to store them on a third-party platform called photobookie.com, and I incorporate my images in posts using the URL, and so I cannot set a featured image. If I did, I would have to upload one to the WordPress library, which goes against the reason for me not putting the images into the post in the first place, because I'm trying to use the third-party platform purposely to save on disk space and to save on bandwidth. So when I create my post, my images are linked to the post using the URL, so I cannot set a featured image. And this is what Google Plus is doing. They are finding first the set images. So when you hover over the Google Plus, it is finding the featured image, which is that, and then they are using that in the post. So if you wanted to share a post on someone else's blog, not all is lost. For example, this here again back at John's blog, if I wanted to share that post there and type in, for example, just reading this post, I could link to him, just reading this post written by my friend John Banks, there he is. So if I do that now, it actually links to him in the post. Now if I was going to post this, I'd want my followers and my friends to see a more engaging image. I mean, I want them to realise that there are 4 awesome sites that pay you to write for them. This header here will not draw people in to read the post. So as you'll see here, when you hover over the actual image, there is a couple of arrows and a cross. So if I click on that now, that will remove the image. Or if I click on those arrows there, that now takes me through all the images that are in the post and on the site. So for example, I'm picking up there some adverts that are on John's site for the Easy Twitter Guide and Spybar, but I want to publish this with one of the images relating to the post. Now here you can see the graphic that says sites that pay you to write for them is a little bit more eye-catching and attention-grabbing than just John's header, and it has a lot to do with the 4 awesome sites that pay you to write for them. So for now, I'm going to click on share. And now that's sharing. So if I now go to Google+, if you look here now, you'll see that the post I was playing around with has actually now been shared, and there's the new image and with links to John. So if for instance your images are not showing properly when you're doing your Google Plus sharing, or if you want to share someone else's and the image isn't sharing, then you now know how to look and search throughout the post for an image that is a lot more engaging and will go with the post for when you share it.